This episode of the Good Living Now podcast is sponsored by our friends at Kuvings. Now, I've had almost every brand of juicer on the market since I started my healing journey in 2015. But the Kuvings Auto 10 has been a complete game changer. It's easy to use and easy to clean. Plus, I'm able to make smoothies as well as sorbets and plant-based milk. So use my code JUICEGUY and save 10%. All right, you know what to do. Get your juice on.
Welcome to the Good Living Now podcast, where we talk to real people about real change leading to real health. I'm your host, Harold Leffall, and my guest today, she has an incredible story. Not only did she lose 60 pounds naturally, she reversed rheumatoid arthritis and IBS and healed her depression. She's here to share with us her story. Her name is Reesy Daniels. Welcome to the show, Reesy Daniels. Hey, Reesy Daniels. Good
Hi,
morning. Good morning. How
good
you?
rising. I'm amazing. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm so happy to have you on the show.
Likewise, I'm so excited to be here.
So look, let's just get right into it. So many people are trying to lose weight, and want to know how to do it. And you did it. You lost 60 pounds naturally. No pills or
Naturally.
nothing, no shots or anything like that. What did you
None.
do? What did you do?
Thanks for asking. So I lost 60 pounds naturally with juicing. I did 100% raw cold pressed juicing. And in the beginning of my journey, I was still eating the standard American diet. Within
Mm,
that beginning of my journey, I lost about 30 pounds. But when I went plant based and cut animals out, is when the real healing began. Not only did I lose waist, but I lost, I healed my body and so much more. But we'll get into that.
and wait, and so what year was this? When did this happen?
So during the pandemic in 2020, when COVID had first started, I literally was at my most unhealthiest. And I was a foster child. So one of the things that was important to
Mm,
me is being a mom, because I have three daughters, was being in good health so I can actually be there for them and physically, mentally, emotionally, like overall be there for them. And I was suffering with that because not only was I dealing with obesity, but I was dealing with depression from that as well. I suffer from the
mm,
irritable bowel syndrome, which all the gut health all ties into the mental health. So I literally had so many things going on with my body. I wasn't a present mom as much as I wanted to be. So I knew I had
mm,
to make a change. So during that pandemic, I'm like, I used to be a person because I told you that I was a foster child. So throughout being
mm,
a foster child in the system, I had to take all of the vaccines and all of the shots. That's a requirement. But as an adult, I began to like do my own research. So when the
mm,
COVID hit, I'm like, I'm not taking any of those shots. I'm going to get my
mm.
body healthy. I'm going to start researching. And that
Right,
was the
right.
beginning of my healing journey.
Wow. So wait a minute. So take us back. So you
Okay.
mentioned that you were a foster child. Did you grow up in the foster care system?
Yeah, so all the way since I was a newborn, I bounced from home to home to home to
Oh
home.
wow.
Yeah, from Cleveland, Ohio. So it was a very rough childhood. So as growing up as a young adult, I knew I wanted change, but I didn't
Mm,
know that the change would come when I took control of my health. It was
right.
incredible. It literally unlocked and unleashed a whole new me.
Wow. Wow. And so do you think the depression and the obesity was a result of, you going, because that's traumatic, going through the foster care system, going from home to home. Do you think that led to, the depression and the obesity?
So that's a good question. I'm glad that you asked that. Definitely for the depression, because there's a lot of childhood trauma that, we don't talk about as foster kids, ward of the state, we'll kind of like bottle that in or do like other outlets. And don't get it twisted. I haven't always been this love and light and healing
Mm,
person. I had to go through the pitfalls and make my way out and learn. But I definitely think the depression was caused from it. The obesity came from, I used to suffer from asthma as a kid. So I was put on
mm,
all type of medication, including prednisone, which one that makes you gain a lot of weight. So I've
mm-hmm,
always been like heavy set, but throughout my adulthood with being a mother, it kind of unlocked a little bit more. I went through
mm,
postpartum depression and it kind of had never healed. It kind of,
mm.
it began to get moving to a new state,
Right.
and just eating. Oftentimes, people don't know that they're suffering from depression with all that eating, and I was able to
Mm-hmm.
identify that. So, good question. Yes, definitely due to being a foster child, that obesity and that depression, but mainly because the medicines that I was on, the allopathic, the medical, the prednisone, the inhalers, the steroids, and things like that.
Yeah, that's such an important point because a lot of times we don't talk enough about the side effects of the medications that
Yeah.
doctors prescribes. All of them
Yeah.
have some kind of side effect, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I was firsthand to experience that, and
Mm.
that was kind of like the key to me to learning holistic health, which is mind, body, and spirit. Learning how to
Mm-hmm.
use nature to heal
Mm-hmm.
God's body, because if we
Right.
are a reflection of God, then we are God's children. So I
Right.
wanted to be as closest to pure as possible. So putting like clean things in my body, like the juices, was incredible, and it opened a whole mental clarity for me.
So the pandemic hit, and so that's when you decided you needed to make a change. And how did you know what to do? How did you know where to start? Because that's the challenge for a lot of people. They want to make a change, but they don't
Yeah,
know how to do it, how to start, because
yeah,
there's so much misinformation out there, and people just don't know what to do. So how did you
absolutely.
start?
Well, that's a good question. So, in the beginning of my journey, I did what a lot of people do. I just jumped head first. I didn't hire any health coach, and I experimented on my body. That was one of the most things that I regret, and that I warned a lot of my tribe members about.
Hmm.
Actually, doing your research first and not just jumping on, into new trends and things like that. When I first started juicing, yes, I experienced weight loss, but
Mm.
I caused more effects to my body than I got benefits. And let me tell you
Mm.
how. I was suffering from the irritable bowel syndrome. So I wasn't having chronic bowel movements. You know that irritable bowel syndrome is
Mm.
basically, backed up inflammation in the
Mm.
colon.
Hmm.
So I would have about maybe 2 to 3 bowel movements a week. But when I started juicing, I noticed frequent bowel movements. So I continued to do what I was doing. I didn't do no research. I was like, okay, I'm getting me some raw juices, throw it in the juicer,
Right.
throw it in the juicer.
Right.
But then I noticed that my bowel movements weren't healthy anymore. And a lot of people
Mm.
shy away when you talk about bowel movements. There's not a lot of information out on it. So I'm like,
Hmm.
I don't know if this is a good thing, if it's a bad thing. So then it turned to, like chronic diarrhea. So I went from
Mm.
irritable bowel syndrome, not having bowel movements, to having chronic diarrhea, making myself
Mm.
sick from juicing. So that's when I was like, no, nope, I'm doing it wrong. I
Mm.
have the key to it. I just need to learn
Hmm.
how to use it.
Right.
So I started doing that research, Harold. I was like, you
Hmm.
know what? I'm going to get in these books. I'm going to get access to the information. I'm not going on the first thing I see on Google. I'm
Hmm.
ordering things. And I started investing in my knowledge. See, knowledge is free, but you got to
Mm.
pay attention first.
Come on now. Come on. You got to pay attention. All right.
Yes, yes. So I started studying not only the healing benefits of juicing, but also the potential side effects of juicing. How to
Mm.
juice certain things. If you're suffering from certain things, to stay away from certain things. For example, I was also suffering from rheumatoid arthritis in my wrist. So I
Mm.
was drinking tons of celery and tomato juice, not knowing that tomatoes contain uric acid, and that could cause inflammation for someone who's suffering from rheumatoid arthritis. So it was
Mm.
incredible. It was a whole new beast unlocked. I was like, you ain't stopping me.
Right. Right. I got this now. I got it.
Yes. So I got in the juice lab, and I started actually making healing concoctions, not just juicing. This is juicing
Hmm.
3.0. And
Mm.
not only were they healing for the body, but they were delicious. And I was like, you know what? I'm not keeping this for my people.
Right. 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 And
That
so,
was my first thought.
right. Right. And so initially you lost 35 pounds when you were just juicing randomly, not knowing what you didn't, without a
You
plan
got
and
it.
without the information. And then once you got the information, your body started healing. You weren't having the diarrhea, and then you lost more weight. Did you
I
lose
lost
more?
more weight. It
Wow.
continued to come off. And when people hear that loss word, they're excited about that. But I gained so much more from juicing. I
Mm.
gained clear skin. I added 10 years back to my life, which again was so important to me because my babies are my motivation. I'm like, I'm going
Yeah.
to be here for them. I'm going to live for them. I'm
Right.
going to do, so many people say they'll die for their kids. I'm like, I'm going
Mm.
to live for mine. So
Come
it
on
was
now.
incredible.
Isn't that amazing though? Once you start healing your body, you start fueling your body with healthy nutrients, the difference it makes in your mood and your attitude and how you feel.
Yes.
It's like
Yes.
you start feeling the way we were meant to feel, and you realize, wait a
Yeah.
minute, I, here I am. All these years I was living, lethargic, depressed, brain fog, and now you start fueling your body with these healthy nutrients. It's just like your whole world opens up to you.
Yes, yes, totally amazing. It's incredible. Oh my gosh, it's like a whole new life.
Right,
Literally,
right,
like being reborn again in a whole
right,
new body that you
right,
appreciate this time.
right, right. So how soon did you start noticing the IBS healing, the rheumatoid arthritis? How soon and the depression? How soon did you notice that start to lift?
So I started to notice the irritable bowel syndrome started to lift immediately.
Mm,
Immediately when I began juicing, I was doing like cucumber, watermelon. I have this amazing juice. It's one of my top sellers, Golden
mm,
Goodness, pineapple and
mm,
ginger. I would drink that daily and I started
mm,
to notice less pain, less cramping in my stomach, more
mm,
bowel movements, more energy. So immediately with juicing, that irritable bowel syndrome wasn't standing a chance with these raw,
mm.
fresh juices.
Right.
But because I was still eating like dairy and
Mm, mm,
poultry, that kind of put a pause on the rest of the healing on my body. See, people don't
mm,
understand when you go through the healing and the detoxing process, you got to give certain things a break to allow your body to really jumpstart. So
mm-hmm.
when I learned that, I was like, okay, I'm going to cut it out. But I was so addicted to
Yeah.
dairy. Oh my
Yeah. Me
gosh.
too. Me too.
Yeah.
That dairy
Yeah.
is so addictive. It's so
Right.
addictive. And so how did you handle that? Like, those cravings that you had for those unhealthy things.
I picked myself up and got back up again each time that I failed. See, oftentimes people make it
Mm.
like, they went on a straight path and it was so easy. No, even me, I continued to fail. But the most important part was I continued to start over and start over and start over again. I
Come on.
educated myself. I did experiments on my body, just like the doctors do. I experimented
Right.
on myself. I did a week of eating no dairy, a week of eating it, and I noticed the headaches, the bloating, the pain, the inflammation, the swellness in my wrist. When I began to see those things, I'm like, this dairy ain't worth it. It's not
Right. Right.
worth it.
Right.
I'm like, my, and I'm gonna be honest. I have my two oldest daughters. They're kind of like my accountability partners. So
Uh-huh.
even when I get the little sprinkle of cheese, they're like, "Mommy, now what was that for? How do you feel
Mm.
after that?" They begin
Mm-hmm.
asking me the questions that I taught them to ask themselves. Listen to your body, write it down.
Mm-hmm.
It was incredible starting a food journal and actually seeing how I am on the dairy and meat products and how my body is off of it. It was amazing just experimenting and learning.
Mm. Ooh, talk about the food journal because I think that's a good point because I think sometimes we eat so unconsciously we don't realize what we're eating and how it's impacting our bodies. Talk a little about the benefits of having a food journal.
Absolutely. Having a food journal is incredible. I highly recommend it for everyone. How I start off with my food journals is I literally mark down what I'm eating, what I'm drinking, and how I feel afterwards. Do you feel energized? Do I feel fatigued? Do I feel bloated? Did I notice like any reactions to it? Immediately, I did it for a month. And then the next month, I began to see the patterns. And then
Mm.
I started to put it together a regimen of the great patterns that I went down. And it was on from there.
That's right, and I think that's so important because when you're able to connect the dots and see, well, wait a minute, when I eat this, I feel this way, but when I
Yeah.
eat this, I feel
Yeah.
that way, and so
Hmm.
that helps you to stay motivated because we all want to feel good,
We do.
we
Yeah.
always want to feel good, and
Yeah.
I think that's so important. I remember one of my guests saying, "Nothing tastes as good as healthy feels." You know,
Yeah,
and if that hamburger is not making you feel good, and that green juice is making you feel better, go
that
look.
part.
Look,
That
it's a no
part.
brainer. It's a no brainer. And, and so you took all that information that you had and you created a business to
I
help
did.
other people do what you did to heal their bodies naturally. And I happened to come up on you when I was at the farmers market. I'm just walking around looking for some watermelon, and I saw you. Your light is bright. You just have this bright light about you, and that's what drew
Thank
me to
you.
you. I just happened to look, and then I saw the juices. But you have a juice business where you sell juice. You have clients where you're helping them on their own journey. It's called Juiced
Yes.
Up Reesy. Tell us
You
about that.
got
And
it.
when did you start it? And you got a mobile. You got a truck too. Tell us all about
Yes, thank you
it.
for asking. Oh my gosh, that's my third baby, fourth, because I got three kids. So, Juice Up Reese is literally the ultimate juicing experience. I took the concoctions that I made with healing my body, and of course, launched Juice Up Reese during the pandemic. So, after I lost those 35 pounds and began to notice, I healed that irritable bowel syndrome, and just overall, my energy, the skin, the way my body was working now. I was like, the people got to know about this. So I started just making juices for others. I wasn't a social media person. I kept this energy to myself. So
Mm,
I made me a social media profile, and the reaction and demand was incredible. I had just moved to Charlotte, North Carolina in September of 2019. The
mm,
pandemic hit in what, February, March of
mm,
2020.
mm,
So not only did that play more into my depression and gaining that more weight, as I started to heal my body, June of 2020, I was like, no, I feel amazing, amazing.
mm,
So I started to just go on social media and promote, like, this is the benefits of it. If you guys want me to make you some, let me know. It was mason jars, okay? So for
mm,
anybody who's watching this, don't ever think that you need to have everything together for you just start. If you have a dream, if you have a passion, go, okay? Because when I juiced, I felt it. I felt
mm,
just something that I've never felt before. It felt so amazing to help someone else heal. I always knew ever since I was a little girl that I was going to help people. I just didn't know
mm.
how. I was
Right.
like, God, please guide me. And when I got my health together, June of 2020, I was like, I'm doing it. My
Mm,
name, Juiced Up Reese, it came to me. And after I got like the first 10 customers, I started to invest that money back. So you don't even need to
mm,
have the money to start. And I started
mm,
getting the bottles and things like that. Now, what really changed my life, Harold, was when people began to travel to meet me, travel to
mm,
get my juices, send me their testimonies, send me their
mm,
doctor results, and things like that. I'm like, so not only did I really heal my body, I'm teaching others how to heal their body as well. I have so
mm,
many tribe members that's like, Reese, you changed my life just from your energy, just from believing in me and giving
mm,
me that courage to believe in myself. So, Juiced Up Reese is a movement. It's not just a
mm.
company, it is a movement. I'm out here changing lives, and I want the whole world to know that about one, my juices, but also that juicing can heal the body if you are doing it the correct way.
Right, right, right. Tell us one of the. You have so many client testimonies. Just share a testimony of one of your clients. What happened to them, and how juicing transformed their life.
Absolutely. So my husband is my first client. Okay. He lost 35 pounds with our juices. And
Wow.
I was like, okay, so not only is my body reacting amazing to it, but his as well. Now, my second client, she came to me and she said, Reese, I healed my diabetes with your juices. And I'm like,
Mm.
a lot of people say that you shouldn't drink raw juices if you have diabetes. So it was
Right.
incredible. She experimented on her own body with her, because at first she was on insulin. She was like, I'm not on
Mm.
the insulin anymore. They was able to take me
Wow.
off. Now more client reviews
Wow.
began to pour in. I just recently had a lady come to me, and I always get a little sentimental about this tribe member, because I was afraid at one point in time to help, um not to help, but I was afraid to take on clients that had certain conditions like cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And they were just coming to me as far as, hey, Reese, and I let everyone know that I'm not a medical provider. I don't
Right.
offer advice.
Right.
These products are not FDA approved, but she trusted and believed him. And she's like, girl, I've been following you. If I'm gonna trust the doctors, I'm gonna trust you. And
Come
she
on.
invested in her health and just did my sea moss and my juices. She was suffering when she went to the doctor. She said her results came back that she had something on her breast. It was a tumor on her breast. She said, Reese, when I went back, they said the tumor is gone. I was like,
Mm.
no way.
Mm.
Immediately I get chills every time I talk about this
Mm.
because the one that I shy away from is the one that literally was get the results and was able to heal and
Wow.
get that experience. It's life changing. It's life changing.
Wow. Man, that is so powerful.
Thank you
That is
so
so,
much.
so powerful. You know, it's just amazing how when we fuel our bodies with the proper nutrition,
Yeah.
how the body will do what it's designed to do. The body is designed to heal, but we
Yeah.
have to create the environment for it. And we do
Yeah.
that by fueling it with the nutrients that it needs. And,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's so funny because when you look at studies, you have experts that have different opinions. One
Yeah.
expert say no, don't do this. Another one to say do that and don't do this. And I always say I'm my own research. I experiment. I'm
That
not going to
part.
rely on somebody else. I don't know how they got that information or who was a part of the study or what all
Yeah.
the. I'm going to experiment on myself and see what happens. So that's beautiful that people see your light and see what you're doing and they're willing to try just to try
Yeah.
to see what happens, just to see what
Yeah,
happens.
absolutely. And most importantly, like you said, do your own research and
Yeah.
experiment on yourself. That's very important. That
Hmm.
that is the life changer. And also know that there is other alternatives.
Hmm.
People, I'm glad that this is why I absolutely loved when you came through here to the farmers market to the juice bar and I seen you because I prayed. I was like, he's
Mm,
local in Charlotte, North Carolina. Your
mm,
story, the way that you use juicing and the way that you changed your life and healed your body is just so motivating. And your
mm,
energy is also so contagious. You're
mm.
incredible. And I'm like,
Oh,
I am going to be aligned with the
mm,
right people, the amazing people, the ones
mm,
that I can relate to, the ones that I don't have to feel like I'm bragging so much
mm,
around, but
mm.
can also know you, Reese, I know you're telling the truth because
Right,
there's so
right.
many people that's full of doubt. And another
Yeah.
part of healing is to remove that doubt.
Mm.
Believe in yourself. Believe in
Yes.
God.
Yes.
Whatever
Absolutely.
God it is that you may believe in.
Right, 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 right. You got to have faith. You
Yeah.
got to believe. Yeah, that is so important.
Yeah.
So, Reese, what would you say to someone who just wants to start but is afraid, don't know what to do? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them that you only get one body.
Mm,
And the reason why I would tell them that you only get one body is oftentimes we live as if, yeah, if you believe in reincarnation, I don't want to go into all of that, but
mm,
we live as if we're going to get another body. Our body can,
mm,
you only get one body. That's your first home. Take care of it. If you are at your best health, then everything around you will be. Abundant comes to you when you receive it. It is
mm,
amazing when you take back control of your health. I can't
mm.
brag enough
Right.
mentally, physically, emotionally. The biggest regret that you'll take is not taking that first step.
Mm,
Understand that there is oftentimes you're going to be set back, but starting over again is the biggest part. And that's the biggest celebration that you
mm,
should be celebrating for and congratulated for. So take that
mm.
step. Believe in yourself.
Right, right, right. I love that what you said. You know, it's it's not a perfect journey.
Yeah.
You may have some setbacks, and it's a learning experience. And as you learn new
Yeah.
information, you change and adjust. So don't beat yourself up if you don't quote unquote get it right the first
Yeah.
time. Keep
Yeah.
trying, keep going. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so you have this wonderful juice up Reese. You have your own juice bar. You got all these delicious juices. I bought a ton when I was
You
there.
bought so many. I was so
so
excited.
so tell us how people can find you, reach you, connect with you to become a part of the tribe and to get some of that good energy and to get some of that good juice that you have.
Absolutely. So we are Juiced at Reesy. We're a mobile juice bar. We're located in Charlotte, North Carolina, but we do all types of traveling. Okay, you can catch us in Florida. We'll be in Chicago at the All Black National Convention in October of 2024.
Come
You
on.
can also order online. So we do take orders online. We do local delivery and pickup. The juice van is crazy. That's the experience itself. Okay. We're the first mobile juice bar in Charlotte, North Carolina, with ICE bowls, wellness shots, cold pressed juices, sea moss smoothies and lemonades, and sea moss gels. Everything that you can obsess over your health on. You can visit www.juiceuprecellc.com to place your order. We also have a mobile app, which is incredible because we have a juicing community there. Not
Mm.
only am I juicing the people up, but I love to educate the people as well. Hey, do this with juicing. Hey, try this out. Hey, what do you guys think? And allow people to have, their tribe, my tribe that they're joining, but can also connect with others that have certain interests. So you can find me on TikTok, Juiced Up Reesy LLC. That one is incredible. We have close to 30K followers on TikTok.
Mm.
We're Juiced Up Reesy on YouTube. It's amazing. I'm going to start posting way more juicing videos and tips on there. And most importantly, Juiced Up Reesy on Instagram. Okay, y'all make sure y'all follow your girl. I absolutely love what I do, and I love y'all the most.
Come on now, man. I'm so inspired and proud of your
Thank
work and
you.
what you're doing. Did, could you 10 years ago see yourself as this healthy person and thriving entrepreneur and business owner and speaker? Could you see that 10 years ago?
10 years ago, no. 10 years ago,
Mm.
I was so suicidal. 10 years
Mm.
ago, I didn't even see myself in the future. I didn't see that far. I
Mm.
used to ask questions like, why am I here besides to be a mother? What is my purpose? Oh my
Mm.
gosh. The woman
Mm.
that I am today, I prayed for this woman. I worked hard for this woman and I didn't give up on her, and I'm still
Mm.
going. 10 years ago, I never thought that I'd be here today. I never thought that I'd
Mm.
be talking about healthy. I don't eat animals. Nah, your health is your
Mm.
wealth. Come get your juice. I never thought that I can even own a business. I'm
Mm.
from Cleveland, Ohio, so that's one of the worst cities to live in, to grow up in. And I didn't see a lot of entrepreneurs, especially not black. I did not think
Right.
that I can make six figures with juicing until I started
Mm.
believing in myself. And I'm like,
Wow.
I'm I'm just getting started.
Mm. Wow, that's so powerful. Wow, thank you. Somebody needs to hear that, Reese. Somebody needs to,
Somebody,
you
it
know,
gets better.
you.
It gets better.
Wow, man. Thank you so much, Reese, for sharing your story, your journey. You're so inspiring. You're such a light, and I am so glad that we are now connected.
Absolutely.
And you are a living example that change is possible and
Thank
healing is
you.
possible, and we
Reflection.
don't. Yeah, yeah, and we don't have to exist. We can thrive. We can
That's right.
thrive. We
We
can
can
thrive.
thrive.
Yeah. Oh wow. Thank you. Thank you, Reese.
You're
Thank you
so
so much.
welcome.
I so
Thanks for
appreciate
having
you.
me.
And I'm gonna see you today because I need to come up there and get some juices from you.
I'm gonna be right here. You already know my motto. Come get your juice.